Welcome to Winning Begins at Home. We are talking win today. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you need to go back and check out the last couple of days. I'm answering the age-old questions from elementary school. I think it was first grade where we learned who, what, when, where, and why. And the last couple of days, I gave you 10 questions on Monday, 10 who questions. Yesterday, 10 what questions. Today, we're gonna shift to when, and I want to give you 10 questions today that will build a little bit on yesterday's where we'll start. But I hope you'll take these questions and you'll answer them. You'll give you some time to think through them, and really, we're trying to create clarity here in our lives as we move into these last the second half of the year. Is what we've been saying here, is the last few months of the year, and so we're mid-July now, so it's time to be locked in, and so I think these can help us. So the first one today, I love this question because it ties into what we talked about yesterday. The question yesterday was, what's my number one goal? And then we said, what is my strategy to accomplish the goal? What is my plan? But today's question, the when question, goes back to that number one goal. When do I need to accomplish my number one goal? This is such a powerful question because it forces me to put something on the calendar, a deadline. And it is amazing when you look back on your life how powerful a deadline is. You pay your mortgage because there's a deadline. There's a date each month. You pay your phone bill because there's a deadline. You did your homework when you were a kid because there was a deadline. Almost everything that we do that has that inertia that we talked about a couple of days ago, that causes momentum, is because we have a deadline and we keep hitting those deadlines. So when do you need to accomplish your number one goal? That's my first when question. Now, here's another good when question. I love this one. And you need to think about it. And I'm sure you probably have thought about it, but have you locked in on the answer to it? And here's the question. When is my best time of the day, or my most productive time of the day? Now, it may be at work that you're going to have a little rhythm. There's a time at work where you're most productive. But when you're at home, what is your most productive time of the day? I was having a conversation with a leader just recently, and he was talking about how productive his time is before the kids get up, before everything gets going, early in the morning for this guy. I know other people who they feel like they're more productive, they get more done, more accomplished. Remember, what are we trying to accomplish? What's our number one goal? They do that stuff late at night. That's great. You choose, but I want to make sure that I know when is my most productive time of the day. And I would encourage you to know that as well and to work accordingly. Okay, here's another question. When should I start my day? When should I start my day? There is a time. It may not be your most productive time of day, but there is a time that if you have a consistent rhythm on when you start your day, you will be more productive and you will be better rested and you will be ready for whatever it is you've got going on. So when do you need to start your day? When should I start my day? I love that. When should I end my day? When should I end my day? I've adjusted my bedtime actually this year. And you can still do that as you get older, you don't have to be 14 to, like, I get to stay up later, or I'm 8-year-old now, no, you get to adjust your bedtime to match your rhythm of life that's going to cause you to be most productive. And I want to encourage you to do that. When should you end your day? And it may go hand in hand. In fact, I would say it does go hand in hand with when you should start your day. And so make a decision on that. Don't just haphazardly, I go to bed this night, this time, that day I get up. No, we want to make sure that we are locked in and focused on our rhythm of life. And it probably, again, will be different for every person. I like this question. When do I feel strong? When do I feel strong? When do you feel strong? Is it after you accomplish something? Is it early in the day? Is it, after a project or a goal? Maybe that's what makes you feel strong. But, let's go back. I talked a few weeks ago about the power of faith. Is it after you go to church? I don't know what it is for you, but when do you feel strong? When you're praying, when you're with, somebody that makes you feel safe. I know people that, that when I'm with my dad, I feel, my dad's gone now. He's passed away, but I know kids is like, I feel strong when I'm with my dad. That's great. When do you feel strong? Identify that place, and maybe you want to spend some more time there in your strength, which would be cool. And then, the next question is, when do you feel weak? When do you feel weak? And maybe it's when you're alone. Maybe it's when you're in a certain environment that you shouldn't be in. When do you feel weak? I love identifying these when questions. When do I feel weak? When is my next extended break? That's a powerful question, right? And maybe some of you have a vacation coming up here in the next couple of weeks before school starts. You got one last, fling. We're taking the kids somewhere. That's great. When you have an extended break, I'm just going to encourage you all the time to find time to have those extended breaks. And by the way, it doesn't have to be an extended break. Doesn't have to be a week or two. I mean, it's great if you can take 2 weeks. That's fantastic. But it might be a 4-day break. Just a few weeks ago, we had a 4-day break. It was so great, and I loved it. We got our family together, spent some time, and it was just amazing what happens when you have a little bit of time to breathe. 4 days is not a long time, but actually, when you have 18 people, it is a long time. So it was really great, and I know you're going to want some extended breaks here over these next few months. And again, put them on the calendar. They're going to happen much more frequently if you'll do that. Okay, got 2 more questions for you. Here's a powerful question that ties into one of the days we had a couple of weeks ago. We talked about finances, and here's my question for you. When will I be debt-free? When will I be debt-free? When will I have all my debt wiped out and I'll be at a place where I can make some serious progress toward my future? That is a powerful question. If you have not given much thought to when you'll be debt-free, I can tell you, you're going to be in debt. And the system is not designed for you to get ahead. And so if you don't own it, if you don't own your finances and your stewardship, you're going to struggle. And so when will you be debt free? Give some thought to that. And you may need a plan. We can't talk plan today, but I want to encourage you to develop a plan so you can get to a place where you can have financial freedom. And then here's the last question. And this one, I'll say this one sort of ties into work a little bit, but it may be hindering the way you feel at home. Some of you may be at a place. This happened to me years ago. I knew I was at a place where I needed to transition. And so that's my question. When will I transition from my current role? And it was actually affecting me, not just at work, it was affecting me at home. And I knew there were some other things I wanted to do. I ended up starting our company, which was really cool. But that wouldn't have happened had I not been asking this question and ultimately putting a date on the calendar. This is going to happen by when. And so for you, I'm not making an assumption here that everybody listening needs to change jobs, but there may be somebody listening and you think, I need to transition my role. And by the way, this does tie in at home. You may be transitioning, moving from one season to the next. I was talking to a lady the other day, their kids going to college. They're going to be empty nesting. I was talking to another family. They've got their first one going to college. They're not going to be empty nested, but I can tell you from experience, it's going to feel totally different when you remove the oldest, they move out. It's going to feel a lot different for everybody who's left. And it just, until all of them are gone, and then you're, but I mean, the truth is you don't raise them to keep them. That's great that you're launching them out. That's fantastic. But you may be entering one of those seasons where your role is going to change. And so give some thought to it. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's at home, but when do I need to transition from my current role, transition my thinking toward my future? Maybe I'm thinking about this stuff all the time. And so I hope you will as well. All right. Who, what, when? We're going to go where tomorrow. It's going to be a powerful day. I got 10 questions for you. I hope you'll join us for that. I hope you'll keep sharing with the people that you love and come back for more. All right. Love you guys. Remember, winning begins at home.